Well, good Sunday morning to everybody. It is cold. It actually is. It feels cold. It's not a minus 20 cold, but it's a not summer day cold. It's I don't know, something like 6 degrees or something like that this morning. A little too cold to be sitting outside and doing videos, but here we are. So we're finishing off Nehemiah today, and the last of the Psalms, and we see Nehemiah being really tough. In fact, he's been tough through all of this. Um, and he's gone for a little while, and they start blowing it again. And he's saying, what are you guys doing? This is the very reason why we went through everything that we went through. Come on now. And so he forced them to close the gates and not have a marketplace on the Sabbath. It took a lot of work. It wasn't just building the building, but it was actually putting everything into place, the whole function. And it was so bad that, it was considered a sacrifice, an act of service to live in Jerusalem. And there was only about 3,000 that were living in Jerusalem to keep the temple up and going. So it was a lot of work, a lot of discipline that went into it. And it was kind of strange, but as I was reading this, I was thinking of what Paul had written about whipping his body into shape. And I don't believe it was a literal whipping, but when we talk about that, I'm going to whip myself into shape. It doesn't mean I'm going to actually whip myself. It's like Paul wasn't training to be a marathon runner either, but he referred to that, and it's that idea that to follow Jesus is going to take sacrifice. It's going to take this kind of discipline, just like Nehemiah had to bring a discipline to a people who didn't understand discipline. We have to bring discipline to ourselves. There are things that we can't be involved with anymore. There are things that we have to let go of out of our life if we're to walk with Christ, if we're to walk in that righteousness and the wholeness. I'm not just talking about sins. I'm talking about things that don't benefit us. It's where everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. And there's nothing that's going to come right out and say this is a sin, but at the same time, it's taken away from your walk with Christ and not adding to it. And these are the things that we have to look at, because it depends on I guess what level of servant that you want to be. Do you want to be one who gives their all, or one who, yeah, it's hard to get into that territory, isn't it? But we know when we're giving our all, and we know when we're not. And I'm not talking about an exhaustion. I'm not talking about the amount of work we're doing, but the quality of the work that we're doing. You can pray over somebody and only be half-hearted in it. You can pray over somebody and not actually have faith that things are going to change. Or you could pray over somebody standing in that fullness of faith and see the change, because you've already seen the change, because you already see it in your spiritual eye. You already see it because you know that's Father's will. To be there in that place takes an amount of discipline when we are walking with the Lord all the time, not just partially. We're a constant conversation, when we're taking the alone time, when we're studying the Word, when we're praying, when we're worshiping. All these things require discipline, just what Nehemiah was bringing into. It's great that the people were rejoicing. They were so glad that the temple had been reestablished. But to keep it going takes work. To walk in the fullness of what God had called them to required that the doors close on the Sabbath. There's a discipline that's involved. Just read Paul. There is a discipline that is involved in all of this, like a marathon runner. Yeah, I said enough with that. So listen, I am so looking forward to gathering with everybody today. I need my batteries recharged. I need to stand in the manifest presence of the Lord with my brothers and sisters and know that I'm loved and appreciated by the Lord and by my family. And I want to be an instrument to convince others that they are also loved and appreciated and valued. So that's why we gather today, and I'm looking forward to it. So you guys be blessed, be encouraged, and I will see you shortly.